Coco, congrats on the win. It was a great performance by Hailey today. What did you have to do to get the win?
Yeah, I thought I just had to keep trying to be aggressive. She was dictating a lot, especially on her forehand side. So I was just trying my best to neutralize that. I thought I served better in the second and third set, got more first serves in, and yeah, overall, I think just trying to put her on the back foot and not me being on the back foot.
Any questions, please?
Hey, Coco, great
Right,
fight.
thanks.
The other day you talked about the shift from hitting flat to trying to hit with more spin, heavier spin. I guess we see like quite a few players on the tour hitting with heavier spin these days, like you, Iga, Zheng. I'm curious, like, do you think in the past that maybe there was a belief that in order to hit big, you had to hit flat, and or maybe attitudes changing in a way?
Yeah, I think I don't know if every other player's perspective, but for me, I just felt like I had to hit flatter to hit bigger in the court. And I think I realized that that's just maybe not the game style that I can play, given the way my strokes are. So yeah, I think, and also like the guys are they're all hitting with spin and they're not hitting the ball like soft. They're hitting pretty hard. So for me, I think that the way I swing and the way I play, which is a physical type of way, I think that just I realized that I can still be aggressive and still hit the ball really hard, just with a bit more spin and margin. And yeah, I think that's what I try to focus on, and I think people can see the improvements. I think with that mentality.
What was kind of the biggest like change and adjustment when you decided to make that change in terms of like I guess moving around the ball, maybe stepping back and giving more space?
I think the biggest is just honestly was just trusting and accelerating. I've always thought for some reason in my head the hitting with shape was more like defensive and things like that, and I realized that you can be really offensive and aggressive with hitting with shape. And yeah, honestly today I felt better on my forehand side than I did my backhand, which yeah, if you watch me play, it's not often that happens. So yeah, I think that just goes with the adjustments of just being more confident with that swing. Obviously my backhand's a bit flatter than my forehand, but yeah, for sure on my forehand I just try to be aggressive with spin.
Okay, Charlie.
Coco, well done.
Thanks.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on this tournament. There have been quite a few young players getting good results. You've had Vicky, Iviovic is close to beating Paulini at the moment, Valentova and others. Yeah, just what you've made of those young players, their games, their maturity, etc., having obviously come through so young yourself.
Yeah, I think they're all great players, and I've played two of them. I never played Eva yet, but obviously watching all of them play, I think they're all very talented players, and I think they just have the belief that they can be here with the top dogs, and I think that's kind of the mentality I had when I was younger, just that belief, and belief will take you really far. And yeah, and I think that they're all, I don't know Valentova that well off court, but I played her in French Open last year, and she seemed like a nice person. But they're all, I think, from great people, and I think that that's what makes them easy to root for me as a player, and also I'm sure as a fan. So yeah, it's great to see them doing well, and yeah, well, hopefully when I play them, I can win. But if not, it's okay.
Saying, I think it was last year, you were like, yeah, I was like naive. I just thought I could beat anyone when I
Yeah.
was like crazy young. Does that make them almost more dangerous because there's a kind of fearlessness with youth?
Well, yeah, for sure. I think one of your couple of your first years on tour are always the easiest, just because there's no pressure, no points to defend, and also like scouting wise, there's not many matches for other players to call upon. But yeah, I thought that that was the mentality I had, and then honestly, like this year, I was like, I need to get back to that because it's actually more factual now than it was when I was 15 or 16 years old. So yeah, I think that if I had any advice to give anyone, just keep that mentality throughout your whole career, because it's that as you get older, it should be more factual than maybe when you first started.
Okay, perfect.
Coco, congratulations on
Thanks.
the win today. Obviously, you and Hailey, have sort of grown up together and, have known each other for quite a while. I guess, like, going back to, those moments where, you sort of, like, practicing as kids and, going to camps together and everything like that, to now playing against each other, like, at a Grand Slam level.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, talk us through that. Was that sort of like, I guess, like a bit of a pinch me sort of moment, like when you realise like how cool is this? We're actually playing against each other on one of the biggest stages in the world.
Yeah, I think, well, now that you put it in perspective, yes, I feel like I've just gotten used to seeing both of us do well. But no, yeah, for sure, if you told us at that age that we'd be playing each other, especially, I don't even think we really played each other in juniors. Like, we always played like the same tournaments, but never really played each other. So the fact that we played each other and also at the biggest stage, I think that's the biggest. But I feel the most, I guess, happy for our parents. Like both for her parents and my parents are pretty involved in our tennis and have been involved throughout our whole life. So I think it's especially cool. I think for me was seeing her dad in her box, and my dad doesn't sit in the box, but he's here. Just knowing that the stuff they had to do to help us get to this level.
David.
Hi, Coco. I asked Arena this a few days ago, but seeing Naomi come out in sort of like heightened, almost sort of rock star arrival, I'm curious if that's something that you've considered, any kind of design collaborations similar to that.
Yeah, no, that was really cool. Yeah, we've had like ideas in the past, but I feel like I've always wanted to do it if I won the tournament before. So I feel like Naomi being two-time champion here, she can do that. Well, really anyone can do it. It's fashion. There's no rules. But yeah, that was an insane arrival, and I thought it was really cool. And I think what she's doing for the sport and in fashion, I think is cool, and bringing new eyes to the sport. And I always said tennis we don't players, well, maybe not players because it's not their fault, but I think brands don't capitalize enough of the fact that you literally can wear what you want on the court. And we're quite literally, maybe other than golf, the only other sport that can really do that. So, yeah, I always said that I think other brands can capitalize more off that. Obviously, lucky with New Balance to do that, but what she did, and I think I read somewhere that it was her idea. Nike wasn't really involved with the on-court stuff, so I think that makes it even cooler.
Coco, congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
You spoke about trying to find consistency more throughout this year between like game matches, but I'm curious during matches and trying to find consistency in moments where maybe your serve kind of falters a little bit. What have you kind of worked on to find that level of consistency during the match?
Yeah, I think just building confidence, and yeah, today I felt like I served way better the second and third set. So I think just continuing to build confidence, and I think at this point, like I have the right motion. I feel like I'm working on the right things, and now it's just trying to, I guess, erase old demons and actually do it. And there was moments today I was definitely nervous, and I felt like I'm getting better with each match, dealing with that on those pressure moments. And yeah, throughout the season, I would like to just be more consistent, not have so many ups and downs. And I think that would go with really my serve. I think I always correlated the two. So hopefully as I continue to get better with that stroke, I think the results will be more consistent, because I actually will not be giving away like 20 points in a match from double faulting.
Okay, a couple more over there and then to me.
With Grand Slams being quite a slog, a marathon, especially when you get to the second week, is there on your off days a show or a book or an album that you've been listening to that you'd recommend, something that you like to switch off, and anything you'd like to shout out?
Yeah, there's a few. Yesterday I was listening to Endless by Frank Ocean. I feel like that's just chill. I hope I pronounced her name right, but her name is Natalia. I don't know her how to pronounce her name, but I've been listening to her EP lately, and I don't know, it just feels like good vibes and cutesy, so I like her stuff. And then I like going to the movies a lot. Yesterday I saw Marty Supreme finally. That was not a relaxing movie at all. Very stressful, so not exactly like wind down, but it was really cool. I'm glad I got to see it. And they also had like a promo. I'm mad I didn't do it, but it was like a promo if you you would play against like Table Tennis Pro and you win like free ice cream, but I didn't do it. But I wish I would have known what it was at the time. Sorry, I'm just rambling, but that was cool.
Okay, Jemani.
You mentioned your dad doesn't watch in your box. Does he ever tell you like where he ends up? Like I've seen him in like random spots around tournaments.
No, it's always other people who tell me. The reason why is because he can't control his reactions. So I would look, and then he would be like this or like this, and it's not necessarily for me. It's like him. So I just told him like we just gotta cut it. And then so I've heard that when I won US Open, that he was like in the gym and the TV was behind, so the the gym attendant had to tell him that I actually won and that he needed to run out to go greet me in the crowd. I don't know where he was at French Open, and you probably know more than I do, but yeah, I've heard that he's all around the site, usually like locked in on the screen and just pacing.
Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks, Coco.